Hello, this is Eve from Sewing in Color coming to you with this decorative wreath tutorial. Um, this was done my way. There are several ways, of course, you can do wreaths. I decided to braid the material and add some lace, roses to it. Done my way. Do it yourself, DIY, and add a bow. So sit back and enjoy. So I've cut this long strip of material, and it's like it's more than 7.5 meters long. And what you do, it's about the width about 9 centimeters. So I'm sewing 5 millimeters from the edge, or half of a centimeter. And then eventually I'm going to turn this long tubular strip of material I've created inside out. I'm going to turn it inside out with this very long safety pin in this way. And you just, with some patience, you keep pulling the material slowly until you get to the end, and then you proceed to get it from inside out so you get to the right side of the material is shown. Here it's all it, it was pulled inside out, it's finished. And now I'm going to have to thread some wool. This is about like 30 strands of wool all strung together. And I'm going to thread it through that tubular material that I created. Here at the end, I'm going to just twist it, and then with a double threaded needle, I'm going to just sew, like make like a knot. You go through it with a needle and you just twist the thread around it. Just keep it nice and firm. Because you don't want the strands getting loose now. Here, you insert the safety pin through this, and you proceed to thread this wool. You thread it through this tubular material you've created all the way through to the end. So measure the length of this, and it's like 7 meters, 55 centimeters. And you have to try to do proportions, because then when you're weaving, and if it's not enough, you have to add another piece. Okay. So maybe in the beginning try to be as precise as possible. So I'm going to just, I would say, measure about 5 centimeters from the top, and I'm going to mark it off with a piece of wool. I'm going to just tie a piece of wool at that point. And then I'm going to measure about 90 centimeters from here. Okay, that's this part. And I'll mark this off with a piece of wool. So this then is practically going to be the circumference of the wreath. So when you do like this, this is going to be the circumference. If you want a bigger circumference, you will have to add, it'll have to be longer. Okay, but from my calculations here, this 90 should be enough. So we'll see. So now we're going to weave this. The next step is to get up to this point where you've marked, the 90 cm mark, and let's see, show you properly here. Okay, you loop it like this. You take this other piece and you sort of make a U. Okay, make it in a way that this is to your right and this is to the left. Okay, because we're going to be now doing the weaving process into this U. So you start weaving inside out. Here I'm using a sort of a hanger that clips, or you can use a clipboard to anchor the top of it so that it helps you. Another thing you can also use clothespins. I have some here ready to help. So once it's anchored and you can weave easily. That's the important part. So I have, of course, I have it looped. Okay. And what you're going to start to do is you're going to start going in and out, for example. So you take the longer piece here, okay, right to the level of where the marker is, the wool marker is, and you can go, see, you can say top and then bottom, or over under. It's better, over under. So this is under, okay, and then you go again over and then under. This little piece stays there. Okay, you go over and then under, and then you go over again and under. Okay, you go over and under. Okay, so this is under. I'm going to anchor this in the meanwhile. So while you're weaving, you're going to have to undo the bottom part because it gets all, and it's so long, so it gets all tangled up. The important thing is to keep this steady. Okay, keep it steady while you're weaving and you undo the bottom part. Here I'm undoing because it's really tangled up now. Because it's really long. I mean, more than 7 meters, more than 7.5 meters. So you could imagine. So you just have to have a little patience on doing it. The weaving process is very simple, but you know, you just have to, like, so now it's all undone. And then I'm going to go back to weaving again, and then, you know, slowly undo. So, okay. This, you can straighten it out if you want to, or you can just leave it like that, twisted. It can give an interesting effect to the wreath, but that's up to you. And here again, we go up, or over and under. So sometimes you push it up a bit, because if you don't want it too loose, you can push it up. Then you go again, over and under. If by chance you don't understand, you put the video in slow mode and you check it out that way. Over and under. And you continue doing this for the length of the loop, okay? The length of the loop where the marker is. I'll continue doing this and see you back in a minute. The resulting braid is 96 centimeters long. The thickness, it's about, or the width rather, it's 6 centimeters width, wide, that is. So I'm going to take away the markers now because we're finished weaving. Okay, and I'm going to join these two ends. So I'm going to join them by taking these two ends, putting them together, and with a double threaded needle I'm going to just sew them. Gotta be careful because there's some wool sticking out. I decided to use this lace here. It's yellow lace, and so I cut some strips. These strips are about, let's see, 9.5 centimeters by 17, and I'm going to fold this in half like this and bunch it up here, and you can sew here the base, of course, the double threaded needle, just gonna go go in once and then just wrap it all the way around like this. And I'll just put one more stitch here, okay, like this. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it in one of the braids, in the middle of one of the braids, the whole of one of the braids, like this. So it'll be peeking out more or less like this. And of course at the back I will anchor it by sewing it onto the red material. And of course I do have intentions of covering the back, but for now we're going to do this. So it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna do maybe every third braid, 1 2 3, put another one here, 1 2 3, insert another one here. So I've gone ahead and I've with the lace and formed them into these like roses, flowers. And now I'll show you how I've done it. Of course you can use different types of materials, and so here I have a double threaded needle with the same color of the lace. And what you do is the way it's tucked into here between the braids, it's a stiffer type of lace also. So I take it and I try to form, you form like a rose. Something like this. So to help you along, you can use pins. So here I've done like this. You can do like this, and you pin it in place, more or less like that. And over here you sort of form it so it looks good. And here I'm going to take another pin and pin it in place, more or less like this. So now that it's pinned in place, you want to just do little pick stitches where you pick up a little bit of material from the red, okay, just like this. And then you go under, because all you're doing is you're just you're not sewing all the way around, but you're just attaching part of the lace to the part of the red, because at the end of the day we would like it to be like fluffed up like this. It looks really nice like that. So here I go in again, and I really don't want the thread to be seen on the right side. Well, this is of course why I use the yellow, but you know, I just want the minimal stitches, so really small. And do like that, and you know, like this, you can't see anything. At this point you can remove the pin and you continue just neatening things up, and here just making it nice and spread, just, you know, in the form of a rose. So I've put one little stitch here, and I'm gonna put one here, and if I'm satisfied I'll just leave it like that, and you continue. And I'll continue with the rest, and I see you back here in a minute. So this is more than 2 meters of wire, and what I'm going to do, it's like 2.5. I'm going to cover this wire with the same material, the same red material that I'm using for the wreath. In the meanwhile, yes, that step, let's do that first. So I'll cut a piece of material, and this is about a width of 5 centimeters. It can be even less. It could be 4, even 3.5. But the important thing is that you have to fold it in half, right sides, the right side. You stitch about 5 millimeters from the edge, or half of a centimeter from the edge, and you stitch all along, because then at the end, when this is all stitched, you will turn it inside out and just insert the wire into this tubular material you've created. That's all. So this is practically finished. I did At the end, I did sew this metal wire frame. Okay, so I covered the wire. Then I slowly did with some whip stitches. You sew it onto the red fabric, red on red. And here I still have some more sewing to do. So this frame, really, you can bend, and you can, it makes the wreath much more flexible, so you can shape it into different ways, any way you want to. So I prefer this sort of an oval looking shape. This is what I prefer. And you shape and you shape, and you need to sew, at least if you cover the metal, the wire, and you apply it, you put it on the weave here, on the braid. For it to be more flexible, you need to sew on both sides, just some whip stitches. Okay, about, I would say, maybe 3 centimeters on each side, so that it keeps the wire in place, and you can flex it much better. So what I'm going to do to finish this up, you could stop right here if you want to, but make sure that this part here, it's all nice and neat. But I'm gonna cover this here. I want to put a bow, a type of a bow. So this lace, what I did was I just sewed it, this part, just doubled it, sewed it, because it's a stiffer type of a lace. The seam, I want to keep the seam in the middle. So you keep the seam in the middle, and we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna put it up here, and with this little piece here, that it's a little tube you turn inside out, we're going to just tie it around, or sew it, so it becomes something like this. So this is the finished decorative wreath. Of course, you may have your own ideas, and if you want to add, I'm not sure, other ribbons or whatever. For now, it's sufficient. It's just to give you an idea of different ways you can create these decorative wreaths. And this way, it's one of my ways, by using it's a braided material, by braiding the material rather. So this is Eve from Sewing in Color, signing off now. Until the next video, have a nice day.